Manchester United win it late. A deflected shot from Lisandro Martinez gives Ruben Amorim and my Manchester United a big 3 points to end the Super Sunday games, end the weekend's football. Quite a few bits to talk about tonight. Striker issues, creativity problems, the need to win over performances. We want your thoughts. We want your opinions in the comment section below. But a big win, a massive win for Manchester United. Let's go. Back to the terrace, a big and important win for Manchester United tonight. Not the greatest game. Seldom any creativity. A smash and grab, in my personal opinion. I didn't think Fulham were that great. We defended quite well, and I'll explain that in a moment. Maybe not quite a smash and grab. We weren't being peppered. Onana wasn't being forced into big saves. But we lacked creativity. We lacked real dynamism for large parts of the game, and probably more infuriating to me than anything else, there was a lack of intensity and intent to try and attack in that game, which I personally found frustrating by Manchester United. And the irony is, the first time in the game that we actually played someone, it got somebody played in who made a run in behind in Garnacho, it leads to a goal. It makes an okay cutback. It's cut out. Falls to Lisandro. He takes a risk. He has a shot. We definitely got the luck with that deflection. But there was intent there to attack. There was intent there to try and score a goal and try and win the game. And I didn't feel there was enough of that from Man United at the right times tonight, personally. You know, so from my point of view and perspective, I was disappointed with large parts of the performance, but absolutely blown away with the win. What I did like about tonight is the way we went 1-0 up. We sat in. We defended our lines. One Muni's chance, which he skied over the bar. But we actually maintained our composure. We were hard to break down. We were diligent. And hopefully that grows a bit more confidence that we can do that more. I want to shout out young Toby Collyer. The clearance off the line from him was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And look, it's one of those things where some will say it's normal, it's natural. I've seen too many times Man United concede goals like that. He saw where the danger might end up. He saw a gap. If there's a flick on here, this part of the goal, the goalkeeper can't get to. No one's standing here. He read the danger. He cleared it brilliantly. I was actually impressed with United's defensive unit for large parts of tonight. I thought Maguire, De Ligt, Lisandro were excellent. Leno came on and he was great. We didn't really look... We made loads of defensive changes, but that unit looked really solid. The midfield tonight got passed through a little bit too easily, and often Smith Rowe or Iwobi found themselves in a lot of space in between the midfield and the defense, and it took us too long to rectify that. Toby Collyer comes in, more energy, and we see that area improve. I felt that Amorim should have made a change earlier. Rasmus, look, one of the worst striker performances I've ever seen in my life from any Man United striker. Every time the ball went to him, we knew we were going to lose the ball. In fairness, I didn't think Xerxes was a massive improvement, but he was so much better. But he was better, and he still lost the ball weekly on 2 or 3 occasions. But at least there was a few times we'll be able to maintain an attack. It wasn't straight turnover and back at us. And Rasmus tonight was absolutely god-awful. I'm surprised he came back out for the second half. And he's just drowning right now. He shouldn't be starting games, in my personal opinion. He really, really shouldn't be. He's just shocking. Absolutely shocking from him tonight. And he'll be rightfully criticised. When it comes to the rest of the attack, I thought Garnacho did okay. He still looks like a player that ain't sure of himself. Ahmad nearly scored at the end, but just ruled offside. I will say, when I looked at where they drew the lines, the line was coming down from the armpit of the player, not the bottom of the shirt line. I'd love to see it. They don't show the close-ups as much anymore. I'd like to see whether my eyes were working or maybe they're getting a bit old. But I thought he played okay, but he was well marshaled and marked out of the game tonight. As Ugarte and Bruno, I thought they were pretty average, if I'm being honest. So the midfield and the attack weren't particularly great today. Didn't take enough risks. Very sloppy on the ball. But defensively, I was really happy with large parts of today's game, especially the fact that we managed to keep them out. And yes, it took a clearance off the line as an example. It took a few last-ditch tackles. But so often Man United have had that. That's been missing from our team. We haven't had that hunger and that desire to ensure that we keep those clean sheets. And it's our first away win since we beat City in December. Only our third away win of the season. Our first clean sheet. And I don't know how many, since we played Everton, which was before the City game. We've been awful. And a comment came through here, which I absolutely love, that says, you still garbage. We know we're not a great team. No one's sitting here and saying that win makes us back to the peak of our powers as a club. But we're going to celebrate winning. Because today was a different win. And you don't want to perform like this every week. You don't want to play like this every week. But we haven't had enough of these sort of, if your team's up at the top, I call it a champions win, where you probably didn't do enough to win. You could have conceded, but you didn't. And then you go and grab it. And for me, I want Man United to start winning more games like this. Throughout my life, Man United probably won like this 5 times a year easily. Man United often won like this on a regular basis. So, yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I am. Thank you, Luke, for encouraging people to hit the like button. I appreciate that. Amorim is just a spicy Ten Hag, absolute trash. Yeah, listen, you do a lot of comment in English Talent FC. Would you want to do me a favor and make a wholehearted prediction? So you say he's trash. Give me where he'll be in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. Give me actually say where he's going to be. Or are you just going to keep saying he's trash until maybe he isn't and then disappear for every time we talk about Man United? Or are you actually going to give a rounded opinion as opposed to he's just trash? I know you can do better than that, my friend. I know you can. Terry, what's the bet? The chat want to talk about performance, about the performance as opposed to the result. You're absolutely right. It will be that. Now, I'm maintaining consistency. Happy with the win. Happy with the defensive performance. Criticize what the midfield and the attackers did today. And I'm sure Ruben Amorim will as well. But as the manager has stated, as we have all stated as United fans, wins are also needed to keep him here, to, essentially get the wolves away from his door, as the phrase would go. But you're absolutely right. Everyone that's been crying about results recently will today moan about performances. Go to watch their YouTube channels, mugs. Go to watch their TikToks. It'll all be performance, Rasmus. Where in other games where we played okay, but a mistake's cost us the game, it will be, but we have to win. And that's the most important thing. It's a great spot there. I didn't even think about it, Harrison, but you are absolutely spot on. Mainu up front is a cheat code. Yeah, I thought he looked, I just think I like him up there. I like him further up the pitch, and I'd like to see him used there a little more regularly. I would say as well about the starting lineup tonight. Look, we won the game. I thought Eriksen was so good on Thursday. I'd have liked to have seen him start again, potentially, or at least get game time. I thought Xerxes should have started the match anyway, if I'm being absolutely honest with you. But Mainu in a kind of 10 role, I want to see it tried. I want to see what happens. Customary United deflection goal. I don't know how many of them we've scored this season when you say it's customary. If that question was about Garnacho, my opinion is he's mid for the elite level of a footballer. He's been saying for the longest, put all your stock in Ahmad over Garnacho. I wouldn't put all our stock in Ahmad. I wouldn't put all our stock in any one player, but I hear your point when it comes to talking about those two in particular. Martinez caught life, red card, should have been sent off. Terry, be honest. Do you know what? I thought what he did was stupid. I'm not going to say it's a red card, though. And do you want to know why? It's the second time he's done it this season where he stamps down towards the floor. And neither time has he been sent off. And it's because he's not stamping towards a player. Interestingly, on this one, he didn't make contact. He actually got his own foot stamped on. I thought he was lucky to not get a booking. But I thought the referee had a weird night tonight. Because I think, Lisandro could have been booked for that. I'm not going to say a red card because we've seen it before and they've told us that they're not red card. If your stamp action is towards a player, then yes. For me, it's a bookable offence. it's a bookable offence. However, he never made contact with the player. So do you book someone? If something isn't a red card offence, and the PGMOL have said it isn't a red card offence, if they don't make contact with their studs on the player, how can you send them off? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask someone. But yeah, I don't like when he does that, because if he makes contact on the shin, he's going off the football pitch. It's stupid. What I also thought was interesting, though, was Ugarte definitely got booked for the right reasons. How wasn't Castagna booked when Mazraoui's about to run through on goal? It made no sense whatsoever. So some really weird decisions like that tonight. But yeah, when Lisandro does that, it absolutely infuriates me. But what we call out on the terrace before people use the word hypocrite is consistency. So we've seen that tackle from him before. No further action was taken. Therefore, I don't like it if he makes contact with a shin, he's going off. But they can't suddenly make it a red card today when it wasn't last time. They have to be consistent with their decision-making. And I'm at a point where I don't really mind what the decisions are, as long as they're consistent with one another. At least then everyone's being treated the same. So I do hear your point. I don't like that he does it, but we scream for consistency. So there we go. There we go. Was a poor game. So it was going to be 1-0 either way. It did have a feel like one team was going to nick it. And I had a gut feeling United would. Didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to upset the football gods. But they'd been slightly better in front in terms of the attack than we had been. So yes, I absolutely get you. PGMOL sent MLS off for a tactical foul, but Martinez tries to stomp on someone. Well, again, let's be fair. He didn't try and stomp on someone. He tried to stomp on the ball. As I've said before, I don't like it. I think it's 100% a yellow card. If they started sending people off for that, I'd understand. The point I'm making here, Ian, is sending Luis Skelly off for what he did is inconsistent because it was a tactical trip and other people don't be sent off for it. Martinez himself has done that same stamping tackle earlier on the season and wasn't sent off. So we're screaming for consistency. So therefore, we can't ask for consistency today to send off Lisandro because we don't like the tackle. We have to ask for consistency to be consistent ourselves. So there we go. That's my view. I don't like it. He does it. I understand why people think they should be red cards, but if you look at what I call out from the PGMOL, it's consistency, consistency, consistency. 2 games, 2 shots on target for United. Oh my God. What do you mean? Oh, I was about to say, we must have got more than 2 shots on target against Rangers. Maybe we didn't, actually. Maybe we didn't. Did we? I don't remember. I didn't look at the stats after the game. You are right. It was poor. We must have had more than 1 on target against Rangers. Maybe we didn't. No, we had 6 on target. You mean it must be in the Premier League. That's true. But having said that, and this is the thing, Larry, it's why I'm not overreacting. And do you remember last week against Brighton? I was fairly relaxed again now. But it's 4 wins in our last 5 games as well, though. 1 defeat in our last 6. So listen, there are some positives and there are some negatives. And there's going to be that until the end of the season. We're going to have that in parts of next season. And Man United fans have got to be very, very aware of that. Terry has Garnacho played his last game for the club. I heard Chelsea are interested. He may have done. They've got to put the bid in. So let's see. And yes, road to 40 points. And I want to thank Villa for taking points off West Ham earlier on today, and Brentford for taking points off of Crystal Palace, and Leicester for taking points off Spurs in that relegation battle. Very, very important. Yes, absolutely. I appreciate that. United are safe now. Potentially. Potentially safe. We should try playing Zerkamp and Hojlund together. Our manager plays with 1 lone striker, so it's not going to happen. I do agree. I just don't think Rasmus can play that lone striker role. He ain't ready at Man United either. He either needs to be sold, or we need to go and sign a striker and he becomes sort of the guy that comes on from the bench. But his hold-up play is atrocious at the moment. He was certainly better at his hold-up play when he came to Man United. I mean, because tonight was the worst I've ever seen. So by definition, he's been better at it before. But yeah, very, 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 very poor tonight. Garni and Ahmad wide, Madu and Bruno 10s. What, so Garnacho and Ahmad in the wing-back positions? And listen, maybe that can work. I don't mind Ahmad in the wing-back role, but we have to play in a way where we can allow him to come forward. If he has to sit back and defend the whole time because we're up against a team that's really good, you're not going to get the best out of him in attack. But I wouldn't mind seeing that. Where do I think United will finish? No idea. Genuinely, Tommy, I've got no idea. Anywhere between 15th and 8th is possible from this point. Let's see who we sign. Let's see if anything clicks into gear. So between 15th and 8th. I don't think we can get any higher than 8th at all. And that will be pushing it. If we manage to come 8th or 9th, I'd probably be happy with where we were. Remember, we're 15th a couple of weeks ago. So, yes. Ahmad was robbed. Look, they said it was offside. I'm taking their word for it. I still want to see where they drew the line from. I can only look on the TV screen. I didn't do a close-up. Looked like they drew the line of the defender from the armpit and not the shirt line here, which gives you a few more inches. But it did look offside. Mid-table mentality. It's not mid-table mentality to accept what we are at this particular moment in time. Me screaming and shouting and saying that if we don't come in the top 4 or don't challenge for the league title between now and then, me having that attitude, Bath, is not going to make Man United better. Sorry, Braff, whatever it's meant to be, Braff Sports, is not going to make Man United better. It's not. It just isn't. Impossible. Just impossible. And if you think it does, show me a case in point where a YouTuber screaming and shouting and being angry every week has made their team that isn't very good exponentially better each week. Give me the case in point and I'll change my mind. But you need to give me an example of where a YouTuber demanding more from a team that is mid-table level with everything, with all the context of changing systems and style and everything else. You've got to show me where a YouTuber being angry and just having higher standards has made the team better. Show me that example, bro. And lol, you can't, because you know that it's bollocks. It just is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I have high standards, but I know it's going to take us time to get there. It's just, and no one's ever been able to give me a response or a rebuttal to my logic that holds water. I'm tired, Robbie. Why was the game 7 p.m.? Because it was meant to be the 12:30 game yesterday. But United are in the Europa League, so it was moved. It was kept on TV, but moved. Right, let's bring the panel out now to have their say. Who we got here? We got KJ, we got Dizzy, we got Husam. Welcome, goody. You look thoroughly depressed, Husam.
Yeah, Man United won. Why should I be happy? Man United won. You want me to just start off? I can start off if you want. I don't mind.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. You just look really sad. I wanted to make sure you were okay.
Listen, first of all, I apologize. I'd like to apologize to the audience, everyone watching us right now, for having Man United be this kickoff time. Everyone just wasted 2 hours watching that bullshit right there. That was just some of the most boring game of football I have seen since watching Italy in 2006. It was so boring, unbelievable. Man United had 1 shot on target, ladies and gentlemen. 1 shot on target, 1 goal. And now, of course, the people in the chat, oh, Sam, you're salty. You're just a hater. You blah, blah, blah. You hate Man United. Yeah, I do hate Man United, but objectively, that was a smash and grab. You go away to Fulham, you smash and grab a win against Fulham away. And Terry always, I noticed this, Terry always gets annoyed with people in the chat calling out like the standards with Man United and stuff like this. I think you just have to accept where you're at right now. Like, just accept the fact that you have a lot of work to do. So this is the way that you should play every week. Honestly, I'm being serious. That's the only thing I disagree with what you said at the start. You're saying, oh, we're not going to play like this every week. If you play like this every week and you win 1-0, you should take it. Because one of the reasons why Man United do worse at Old Trafford is because you have this mentality of, oh, we're Man United, we need to attack, we need to do all this stuff, and then you get destroyed on the counter-attack and you end up losing the games. And the reality is you can't out-football some of those teams. You just can't. You can't out-football Brighton, you can't out-football Brentford, you can't out-football some of those teams. So when you do it at home, you end up conceding goals, you end up losing. When you go away from home, that Old Trafford pressure of wearing the shirt and representing Man United at home is lifted off your back. And as soon as it's lifted off your back, the players don't have the pressure of, oh, we must have possession and dominate. And today, Fulham were the better team. Fulham did not deserve to lose that game. First of all, no team was good today. But Fulham are just slightly better. Fulham was 55% better, Man United 45%. So it's very close. But Fulham are a bit better. So I think draw would have been probably fair result. Deflected goal as well in the end, but you take it. But Man United fans, the expectation of this, like delivering this sexy football and beating teams and destroying them and thumping them, that's just not reality anymore. Because that's not where you're at. And you should be more defensive in a lot of the games. Even next week, I don't know, whoever you play, let's say you play Brentford at home next week, you should go defensive. So then you can counterattack Brentford and beat them. Yeah. Whoever it is you play. Whoever it is.
Question for you. What United fans are you talking to that are saying that that's the sexy football thing is what they want to see right now?
Dizzy, you're an intelligent man. You have seen your fans. You know that the Man United fans are like by far the worst in the world. You know.
Yeah, but hell no. No,
you're worse than Arsenal fans.
No shot, zero shot. But hold on, let's not deviate.
Literally a month ago, people were claiming Onana's the best keeper in the world.
Let's not deviate from your original point. Let's stay right here. First of all, you're absolutely wrong. But that's you're a Liverpool fan, so you're
wrong on what?
Gonna have that United fans are the worst on the internet. There's no way. But that's your opinion. You're a Liverpool fan, so I'll let you live on that one. What you're saying is United fans want to see sexy football, and that's why we get beat, because teams come to our home and we try to play sexy football and then we can't out football these teams. That is not true. That's just simply not true. The problem that we have, you are right in the aspect of saying that the pressure gets too much and the shirt weighs heavy on them and that kind of stuff. But we're not trying to play sexy football. When we get smoked, we pull up and we're not playing any football. We're not making any simple passes. We're not making any sort of good decisions forward in the defense, in the midfield, in the attack. It's all disjointed. It's not like we're trying. But look at these passes that are going nowhere and stuff. It's none of that.
Okay, would you consider Brighton a good footballing team?
I mean, they're like ninth in the table, so they're decent. They're all right.
Yeah. You had more possession against them at Old Trafford last year.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we're trying to play.
But it wasn't. But what we weren't trying to play.
No, guys, let's be objective here. You know, you tried to play against Brighton.
Listen, Husam. Now you're changing the argument. Now you're changing it to we tried to play football. You're trying to add this call of sexiness, like we're trying to be Pep's Barcelona 2.0.
I'm not saying that. That's what Kenny said.
Listen, okay. Can I?
No, hang on. Sorry, Kate. I know you're talking. What do you mean I said that?
You said at the start we're not going to play like this every week, right?
No, we're not. We're not though. And do you know how I know we're not going to?
Yeah,
play
my
like
argument is you should.
No, but do you know why we shouldn't? Because if we played if we played this poorly, and I'm talking about our first touch in midfield wasn't good enough. There was too much space between our defense and our midfield. Our attackers didn't take enough risks. If we'd have played like that away against Liverpool, we wouldn't have got the point. If we would have played this poorly against Arsenal, we wouldn't have knocked them out of the cup. The point is, we were poor in large areas of the pitch, barring, I thought defensively we were quite sound. Our back line, right? Point. But I'm talking overall. We'll have some games this season where we're worse than today. We'll have other games this season where we're much better than today. I don't understand what's crazy about saying that.
Okay, you're going to play Crystal Palace at Old Trafford next. Mm-hmm. You're going to go into that game completely offensive, and there's a genuine possibility you either draw or lose that game at Old Trafford.
Sorry, Dizzy.
Because of your style. Your team, your individuals, let me just make the point clear. Your individuals are built to have a counter-attacking team. Your individuals are built to counter-attack. The team that you have right now is not a team that should try to have possession and dominate, because you will get destroyed on the counter-attack and you're just not that good in possession. Even the Diallo goal that got ruled off, how was it scored? Counter-attack. That's it. Like, you're a lot better on the counter. So when you say stuff like, we shouldn't play like this every week, I'm not talking about how bad you are. I'm talking about being defensive. If you're more defensive, you can win games.
Number one, you say we should play that every week. What if the other team says, you have the ball? We can't stop other teams saying, no, we're playing defensive today.
We give it back to them.
So what we do, we just play volleyball? We just keep booting the ball long to each other? So at some point, we have to have the ball and play football. That's just the way things work. Two, I understand, and we all know that our team is built for counter-attacking, because that's how Oli, Mourinho, Ten Hag, they're built for that. Cool. But when we're trying to change that, what is the point of just keep doing the same thing that's been failing us anyway? So it's not like we were winning the league with counter-attacking football. Amorim's come in and now we're crap. We've been crap.
Yeah.
So if we're going to start from the bottom, and if you want to start from zero, might as well play the way that you want to play and build towards there. And yes, we might get some games where we should be winning and we lose. We'll get some games where we should be drawing and lose. But at the end of the day, that's not changing if we play counter-attacking football, possession football, flipping Gegenpress 2.6050 football. It doesn't matter. We suck.
KJ, you're the worst. What rivals kind of want to goad United fans into demanding, in hope that Amorim listens, is to give up on building a style of football as we have done with the previous managers. But for me, I love listening to what Husam has said here, though, because we did have an approach tonight that was more pragmatic. We just didn't take enough risks and were poor in the attack. Tonight dispels the myth, if you look at the Rangers game, the Brighton game, and tonight, that, well, when you play 4-3-3 and just have one way of playing, your manager's never going to adapt his tactics. Well, no, we approached tonight's game very differently to we approached the game against Rangers. We had a very different approach. We were more pragmatic tonight. We were more attacking the other day. Amorim's system, he has never said in any interview, there is not a single thing written about his system that says it is all-out attack, trying to play beautiful football every step of the way. We saw his Sporting team, when they were unbeaten in their league, go up against Man City and putting a top-class pragmatic performance. A top-class pragmatic performance. We've also seen them go out and put in brilliant offensive displays where they're the aggressor. And Man United will have a mixture of that. And again, until the squad is fully built and until it's completely settled, there'll be some weeks where we go pragmatic, like against Liverpool, and we grow into the game and we look really good and people go, wow, that was brilliant. There'll be games where we go and attack and we smash teams up and they'll go, well done, like Everton. And there'll be other weeks where we go pragmatic and get beat. There'll be games where we go attacking and we get beat. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a long process. So where I agree with Husam is the idea of anyone going, we have to have high standards and demand beautiful football every single step of the way. Well, do you know why I don't have that standard? Because I started supporting the club in the late 80s when we weren't even that good. But I watched the greatest era of dominance in domestic football ever under Sir Alex Ferguson. And we were a team that often played great football, but we were also a team that had a lot of pragmatic, stinky wins away. Yeah. Iconically, at grounds like Fulham. Well, yeah. I remember it. 2007, Ronaldo dinks inside, little deflected shot to score, bottom corner. We all celebrated on the bench. We've done this when we've been at our peak. So what I won't do as a Man United fan is start trying to inject standards of how good we should be in our style of football for every game that didn't exist when I started supporting the club and didn't exist when we were at our peak. That I find to be a very... I was talking to Newcastle.
Yeah, but I'm saying you should do the opposite of that.
No, well, then we agree with each other. Absolutely. So
I'm saying if you have to beat Crystal Palace by having 20% possession and scoring 2 counter-attack goals, so be it.
That's fine. And that's fine. And the thing with
Amorim... That's my point. You're saying... We're talking about the performance today, right? Performance-wise, we're all in agreement. No team was amazing, but Fulham were just a bit better. Probably
no, I don't agree with that.
Okay, no problem. Probably draw was a fair result, in my opinion. But at the end of the day... Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When I say a bit better, I'm not saying they were unbelievable. I said 55-45, 51-49, whatever you want. So, like, just a little bit, because they just had more shots on target. That's it. But, when it comes to the drawing part, forget the messenger. Listen to the message. Forget the fact that I have this club's crest on the screen. Listen to what I am saying and respond to it. I'm not talking about the performance. I'm talking about the style. When you look at your team right now, you don't have a team that, oh my God, let's play possession, let's dominate, let's box Crystal Palace into their box and destroy them.
Sam, but this is why I was confused by what you said, because you must have misheard me. Yet we'll have weeks where we are better than this in terms of performance. But every Man United fan worth his salt completely understands that in the here and now, some weeks we're going to have to be, we'll be the attacker and we'll win. Sometimes we've got to be pragmatic. But even all the United fans that fell in love with the club through the Fergie era, that's how we played football. For me, you're preaching to the converted here. We agree with you, but the way you worded it at the beginning is like we were asking for something that that should
No, I'm saying
more-
accept
and-
where you are.
And more so to the point. Wait, really quickly. We don't have the team to soak up pressure week in, week out. We have Onana in goal.
I was about to say as well.
Bro, we will lose more games than
We
we
lose to
win.
Sam, and instead of losing 3-0 to Bournemouth, let's lose 5-0 to Bournemouth or 6-0 to Bournemouth. Because all we're doing is doing this. Because guess what? We have no flipping PMP, brother. We have no speed for counter attack. All we've got is Ahmad. You think Bruno can run?
Yeah,
You
it's
think
no.
Xerxes can run on the counters, bro?
There's got to. You're right. There's got to be that mixture as an example. And we listen. We weren't great today, but we got it right because we won. Half man, half amazing. Since when deflected goals is not part of the game? How many times has Salah scored PKs to win games? Sorry, Salah. I thought you meant Saka. Sorry, PKs to win games for Liverpool. Do you come here and say you won because of a penalty? Fuck off. I think he means. Get the fuck out of here with that BS analysis.
Listen, half man, half amazing. You just should remove half amazing. Just call yourself half man because clearly the brain part didn't work. I never said that it's not part of football. I'm just pointing out what happened today. So if me pointing out what happened today, I know exactly what's happening. The whole chat is mad because I'm a Liverpool fan. That's it. They're not mad at what I say. They listen to what I say and oh, this guy actually saying sense. Counter-attack because we have a better counter-attacking team. Defend better. That's all Husam is saying. Stop doing this whole we're Man United. Let's attack. This is not Fergie's side. Back in the days with Paul Scholes and Giggs and blah, 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 we used to play.
Sam, I'm going to defend my community here. The vast majority of the Man United fans in the Football Terrace community have been saying they're angry because you're challenging them with things that donkeys from other platforms have said, not the Man United fans here. Like, go challenge them or name them. United
Terry, I'm challenging you. But that's the thing, you're just not getting me. I'll say this last time, okay? Just
agree
understand.
with me.
At the start, you're saying we're not going to play like this every week. If you're talking about style, if you're talking about performance, we agree. If you're talking about style, we disagree. I'm saying if you have a team that's better to defend,
we agree.
That's what I'm saying.
But we both agree. So why? How can you
no
challenge,
problem then. We agree.
How can you challenge someone that you agree with?
Okay, so I misunderstood that you said at the start. Because when you said we shouldn't play this way, I thought you're saying we shouldn't defend this way every week and blah, blah, blah. That's what I thought.
I said I was talking performance. I mean, just on the ball, I expect us to be better in other games.
No, I hear that. Yeah. Of course.
I disagree for a different reason, though. I just think Husam's point is useless because our team is useless.
Yeah.
Counter-attacking when your team sucks, it doesn't matter. We suck. Flip it out.
Yeah, I understand that. We'll go back to some of these super chats in a minute. KJ, what did you make? Look, it's probably hard to talk about the performance today because there's very little to talk about. I do want to mention, though, the defensive side of things. What did you make of the defensive performance from Man United today?
I think it was good for the most part. I think the defenders did really well with the challenges that they had. I thought Martinez was brilliant. Besides that stupid two-footed stamp tackle that he does, he needs to stop doing that because he will get sent off. And not banned for 3 games, get banned for 15. Because that's basically GBH what he does when he does that. And if he ever connects, it's not looking good, bruv. So yeah, he needs to stop doing that. But on the ball, he was brilliant. Defensively, he was really good. Harry Maguire did his job dealing with all the area balls, and De Ligt did all right, and so did Yaro when he came in. The issues that we have in terms of defending is coming in the midfield area. And I feel like the likes of Bruno when he was in there, Ugarte, the reason why they are getting run through right now is not actually because there's necessarily massive holes in the team. It's because the forwards can't hold the flipping ball.
Yeah.
So they're going up to do their job in supporting the forwards. You got Rasmus, we'll talk about him in a moment, not doing his job. Garnacho not doing his job. Ahmad not doing his job in keeping the ball up there. And next thing you know, they've lost the ball and now they're sprinting all the way back because they can't do their job. So I feel like defensively, our defenders got put under more pressure today because those guys, as a team, we didn't defend completely. Our defense did their job. Midfield had to cover for the forward line, and the forward line screwed us. But in terms of the defenders, we did good today. And Onana, he looked shaky at the start, making easy saves look a bit harder, but then he steadied himself. He claimed some high balls. He he didn't have to make any great saves. That's why I don't think Fulham deserved to win either, because he weren't like they were pepping our goal too much. So overall, defensively, we did our job, but we need to improve in the forward line defensively. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
No, I agree with that. What you mentioned there about the forward line, look, Rasmus today. Some people will say he's always been this bad. I disagree, because if he'd always been this bad, I've never seen a hold-up performance as bad as this in my life from a Man United striker. David Bellion was better, and he was awful for us. It was horrendous, and he looks like he's drowning out there, Rasmus. And I don't like seeing it. You know, equally, I'm not going to abuse him as some amoebas abused Xerxes, because I'm going to keep the same energy. But I also agree with you. He actually looked at it. He lost the ball today 10 times during hold-up play. But Garnacho lost it 9 times, and Ahmad lost it 9 times also in hold-up play as well. And I think we always have this habit. I certainly was doing it during the game where I'm looking at it and I'm going, why does he always lose it? But actually, all 3 of them were poor at it today. He was the worst, but they were all poor at it. Xerxes came on. He lost it 3 times in that period. Now, he obviously didn't play for as long, but there was that improvement, and he was so much better at it than the rest of them. But I do agree with you. That front line's inability to hold the ball up does it. We just kept on getting caught out of position. And thankfully, the defensive line did their job today. And how do you think, Dizzy, we improve on that front line? Is that about training, or is that about going out into the transfer market and buying better players at holding the ball up?
Bro, I think we need new bodies. On Hojlund, I was one of those people that like wanted to hold on to the hope that he could be a player for so long, but it's actually impossible to defend him. It really is. And I feel like he's not only, I think the tricky thing for Amorim is Hojlund is his like stature and like sort of his qualities are what Amorim wants, but he doesn't play up to any of those qualities, if you get what I'm saying. He doesn't play up to the stature or none of that. So it's like, I want him to do good, but every time I put him in, he dies a little bit more. You know what I mean? So I think we need new bodies. I've never really, and I don't know if I've really talked about the Garnacho thing on this platform. Don't really quite understand the outrage as much as everybody else. Personally, I would sacrifice him for the greater good. Use the PSR to bring in more bodies in the attacking line. And what's it called? To me, Xerxes and Hojlund, two sides of the same ass, if you ask me, bro.
Two cheeks of the same ass, my brother. Like, why you doing no? Just
So I would look to get rid of both of them, or pick one to be a bench player. And obviously Ahmad is our guy, so he's really the only bright star, I think, in our forward line at the moment. So yeah, I would look to overhaul the whole.
Should have talked about that disallowed goal. That was the best bit of the
game.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm about to say,
little 1-2 nutmeg. I'm not gonna lie, the referee should have just allowed that for like highlight purposes. He should have just allowed it. Be like, yo, this game was so shit. I'm counting that goal.
Here's the thing. We do need to bring in more people, but in terms of for the rest of the season, we can't bring in 6 new attackers. It's just not happening, or 5 new attackers not happening.
I'll take a striker. I'll take one striker.
Yeah, we take one, but like in terms of like we can make some changes in the team to facilitate that. So we just literally mentioned it. Mainu should really be playing in that forward line just so we can see, because we know we can dribble, we know we can connect well with players and do 1-2s and has good IQ and decision making in the final third. Why not try him out there? Because you got Garnacho. See, the thing with Garnacho, again, he wasn't awful today, but he wasn't good. He was just okay. When he's playing, he can't play the inside 10. So you're seeing Mazraoui play inside 10. You see him inverting, or Dalot, who's out there, see him inverting. That's not how it's supposed to be. It doesn't work. And that's just because naturally Garnacho's like, I'm uncomfortable here. I'm going to go out wide. Yeah. And then Mazraoui's like, okay, cool, I'll come in.
First start to that.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's not working. So we do need guys who can play.
Even Ahmad does that, to be fair, and it kind of pisses me off sometimes. Yeah. Which is why, by the way, we can't play counter-attacking football. If I may, were you going to ask something there? Because I want to go off what some of the things people said. Unless you have a question to direct. I know you usually like to direct the conversation a little bit.
Go for it.
Yeah. So what the guys are saying, listen, there's no way we can play counter-attacking with this team, because We're not an anything team. Let's just establish that. We are a nothing team. So we're not a possession-based team. We're not a counter-attacking team. Like, you know what's so funny? The manager come after the game and he said, we lack P and P in the final third. And then Husam sits on this match and actually says, we need to play counter-attack, which requires P and P. So literally the manager debunked Husam without even listening to what Husam said. Unless he was watching the terrace, which I doubt Amorim was. Yeah,
right. Don't disrespect the flat foot. I'm joking.
I'm just saying he's in the stadium. I highly doubt he has it in his ears listening. He has to take an interview. But yeah, we're not a counter-attacking team. Neither are we a position-based team. And what Sam was asking earlier is that he wants us to play for results rather than improvements of the system and performances. And there is a fine balance between the two. You can't just try to play football and continue to lose, but you also can't do what Ten Hag did, which is just shithouse every game, like he used to do, and just bring on McTominay. Hopefully he'll get me a header in the last 10 minutes again and win. So Husam is not right, but he's also not completely.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's not really a rebuttal if you say we're a nothing team. Like we can't.
No, we really are a nothing team.
Because, like, well, that's not a rebuttal. Like, oh, because we're just crap in general.
I could explain to you why, though, because I'll tell you what. Today, as an example, I look at the players that are on the pitch. If you want to play counterattack, ideally you need an outlet. The outlet is mainly sometimes your striker, especially when you play long balls. If your striker is a trampoline, the ball touches him and then just jumps 10 yards away, you cannot play counter-attacking football like that. That is the issue that we have with this team.
But you know who your outlet is, though?
Who?
No, but that is the outlet.
Diallo, obviously.
No, okay. But you're not going to launch the ball forward to Diallo like that, especially when Diallo drops. So today we saw the 2 10s drop a little bit deeper as wing backs, and then you saw the 2 wing backs invert in the middle. I think that was a way where he is trying to get, because to be fair, I think Mazraoui and Diallo are better in the build-up rather than just being in the final third. Diallo's a different story because he's just shit all over the place right now. So that was what he's trying to do. When your outlet is kicking the ball forward, but then you don't have a striker that can keep the ball, of course you're not going to be able to counterattack. That is the thing that we suffer from today. Every time we were pressed, we went long, we couldn't hold the ball. Every time we tried to build, slow from the back and go for short passing, you have people like Diallo messing up sometimes. You have people like Garnacho messing up sometimes. We unfortunately just have to accept it. We got to repeat it every week. We need a lot of players being changed. So right now, when Husam says that, he's not completely wrong to say that. Today was one of those games where we got the result, but we sit here and we talk and want to analyze the game and all that, but it just reminds us of one thing, and that should always be the main focus: win, lose, or draw. Go back this manager. He's clearly struggling. Today, we were a deflected goal away from having a meltdown. We were a deflected goal away from having people come on this channel or in the comments or on Twitter saying, "Oh, we should have switched to 4 in the back." I just don't understand this narrative. People think the minute we switch the formation like that, we're magically going to play ball. We just don't play ball. You saw in the final 30 minutes who was on the pitch. We had Xerxes, we had Ahmad, we had Meno. We start stringing some passes in the final third. It's not that difficult to see. There's certain players when they're on the pitch, we'll be able to do something in the final third. And there's players when they're not on the pitch, we won't do anything. Today, we had to start Hojlund, and I saw people getting angry at Amorim for that. They're like, "Oh, why is he persisting with Hojlund?" Well, technically, he didn't start him 2 games in a row, so he's not persisting. And Xerxes is not a machine. He's not going to play 90 minutes 3 games in a row. He needs to be rotated. So today, you can tell that he saved them for the last 30 minutes. Hojlund, however, I feel like we should have focused on him a little bit more here. Because I do know the team's not good. I do know that we need signings. It's redundant at this point. I don't want to repeat it every time. But I'm not going to lie. Is Anthony really the worst signing in our history?
Yes.
Are we really saying this? No, because hear me out. This guy, apparently, the stat came out today. He hasn't scored in 36 of his 48 games. Now, I understand what people are going to say. They're going to say, "Oh, he's young. Oh, he should have never been leading the line. Oh, it was Ten Hag. Oh, I understand. There is reasons. I'm not saying there's no reason. But I don't think there's an excuse for anyone at any level to go 36 games out of 48 without contributing with a goal. Because you know what the issue is? When he doesn't contribute with goals, he generally doesn't contribute with anything else. I do generally feel like we're playing with 10 men when he's on the pitch. You guys were talking about his hold-up play earlier, Dizzy. It's not even that. There was one chance where Garnacho played a very good ball to Mazraoui. Mazraoui takes it to the byline, and I'm looking for the cutback. My instinct, anyone, bro, wallahi, if you just played football in the if you played 5 aside, bro, you know where the striker is going to be. You go to the byline, the striker has to be somewhere behind you. You just pass it to him, tap in. This brother runs to the near post. And I'm like, you just jammed the near post because you didn't know where to be. You should have been stopping when all the defenders are running. Remember Berbatov? Berbatov just spoke about this 2 weeks ago about that Blackburn girl he scored. He's like, all strikers know is run to the 6-yard box. He was like, I used to outsmart defenders. They know I'm gonna run to the 6-yard box. So when they all run, I'm the one who's the last one who's on top of the 6-yard box who gets the easy tap in. But that's the mentality. Obviously, I'm not comparing Hojlund to Berbatov. Today he does that, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, you can't hold up the ball, you cannot dribble, you get bullied, and you can't make runs. He is genuinely a liability every time he plays. The only thing he might do is just run so we can waste time, make the opposition tired, and then actually bring on the players that are decent so we can try to win the game in less 30 minutes. That is the only use that I can make. And this is why when I say, think about it, really, I want everyone, don't give me an answer now. Think about it and sleep on it. Is Anthony actually the worst signing in history in our club, or is it Hojlund? Because it's not conclusive.
It's a fair question. It's a fair question, and I understand why you think and feel it. His goal scoring record is too good in Europe for me to say he's the worst signing in our history. However, even with Anthony, there are other players I think have been worse for us. What I would say about the two of them is pound for pound in terms of the how much they cost, they're up there. But what you've got to factor in with pound for pound is that £20 million was a lot of money for players 20 years ago. So you have to be very mindful of that. But you are right. He's drowning. He's absolutely drowning. And I think the hindrance has been this sort of, he's had to be the main man straight away, and he clearly wasn't ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
He struggled, and now he's just drowning out there. And it's a shame that he isn't putting in performances, because it's going to be harder to get money for him. But I look at him as a player that we should almost look to cash. A few weeks ago, I was saying, no, I'd keep him as the backup. I'm now slowly starting to change my mind and thinking maybe we should be cashing in on him. You could still probably get yourself 30 or 40 million euros back. He's got a good goal scoring record in the Champions League and in the Europa League.
Generous.
But as a Man United fan, we've all got to control the fucking narrative here, right? And try and make sure our players.
I'm just laughing because I generally don't even see that.
Yeah, but the reason why I say that he is on a real level is if you look at the his goals to game ratio in Europe, that should be our selling point. Because for some clubs, I think you can go other places and do well. I just look at it and think Man United, it may be over for him now, because I just looked at him today and he just looked lost.
He should have had a Brighton. You know those players that we get linked with and then we don't buy them, and then they go to like a Brighton and then they ball out, and then 2 years later their price is like 10 times more, and you're like, oh shit, we should have signed him 2 years ago. He probably needed that club, but to be fair, they asked us for 70 mil. It's not like
we just skipped this step. We'll give you the bread anyway.
I promise you, he would have went to Brighton for like 20 mil. They would have.
I know he needs that middle club. I think personally,
I'll be right back. Sorry.
We should really be loaning him out.
Yeah,
maybe that's the option. Yeah,
loan him out for a year or two, build him up a bit, bring him back, see how he does, and if he still flops, then you sell him off the back of 2 good loans. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least do it that way. The plan was for Rasmus, and we know it was true, was that he was supposed to be the second option with another striker. We end up failing as a club to get that first choice striker, and now he ends up being on number 9, and now he's flipping drown. He's failing. He's not handling it. And you know what? He's a young lad who barely played football. Why would I expect him to handle the pressure of being Man United's number 9? It's unfair. So I feel for him in that sense. But right now, with him, he shouldn't be near the starting lineup. He should be going out on loan. And Man United need to use this as an example of going out. And if you're going to buy a player this raw, have an actual plan for him. So have an actual senior player or 2 senior players in front of them to help them develop and to come on. Or you loan them out to specific clubs to help them get the experience they need. Right now,
I think from a money perspective, loaning him out is probably smarter, because if you loan him out, let's say you send him to a Bundesliga club, and he scores like, I don't know, like 18 goals, whatever it is. Like, I'm not saying anything big. I'm saying, let's say he scores 18 goals in a season. You can bring up his price tag, because just, and listen, I'm to be accountants as soon as we sign up to be a Liverpool fan. If you lose like 40-50 million on every bad transfer you make, that's really bad business. So you should try to recoup as much as possible. Even try to recoup, like, if you loan him out to a Leipzig, let's say, because they'll take him on loan, a club like that, club in the Champions League or Europa League at least, or even conference, just as long as there is Europe, and he goes out there, he scores 18 league goals, maybe 25 overall, something like that. then that's your selling point to whoever the hell wants to buy him after, which is, okay, he had a bad time at Man United. Maybe this league doesn't suit him. If you want him, we want 50 million. You limit your losses, as an example.
Great point on that. Great point on that. Viewers, give us your thoughts and feelings on Rasmus. What should Man United do? I know some of you would just write he's trash. If that is a depth of your footballing knowledge, then fair play. But we'd like a little bit more.
He should be sent to the Gulag Championship.
And Kunku and Rasmus, perfect is what Ronin said. Ronin says here. Red Devil Rebel says, chat about Collyer. What a player he is. Goes for every ball, 100%. I keep saying on multiple streams, bring some more youth. They'll give everything. What did you make of him today, Dizzy? Young Toby Collyer again in the midfield.
I like him. When he came on, I was saying, you know what? He's one of those players to me that's like, we don't need to speak about him too much. We don't need to gas him up. We don't need to blow him to the moon. He comes in, he does his job, he plays 20 minutes. No one's begging him to start. Or when he starts, he plays well, he comes off. Let's just keep him on this track. We don't need him to be the next Mainu who's starting every game when fit. I like him. And to Red Devil Rebels' point, I think we should bring in more youth. I think from some of these men, I think we've seen everything we're gonna see, to be honest. And I don't think that the youth could do worse. Like, are you telling me Dallo? What could be worse than what Dallo's giving us on the left at the moment?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
True,
there's certain positions on the pitch where I'm like, we can't get worse. It could be just as bad.
You know the kid, Chido Obi, in
Chido of mine
academy. Generally, bro, tell me how worse can he be than any of our strikers right now? And I like Zirkzee, and I think he gives us something.
I agree with that. So what we just want to make sure we're not doing is having too many kids at once, because again, some
I'm not
can
putting the pressure on them. Terry.
No, I agree.
I integrate them.
But I agree. I think one or two more being given a chance between now and the end of the season makes a lot of sense. And maybe it's a game where you go, right, Harry Amas, if he's still, I mean, he might have been loaned out. I don't know.
He's still here.
It's like maybe you give him, maybe it's a game where we're at home against a team that we think, okay, we maybe that's the game where you give him an opportunity to see how he performs and does. Maybe don't do it in a game where you've got Collyer, Mainu, Zirkzee, Rasmus, all that together, all of the young players and ones that are struggling. But no, I was impressed with him today. He's got leg. Well, the thing with it is, I'm still not sure how good he is on the ball, because I've got to watch him more. But what he does give us is athleticism in the middle, and we lack it so much.
He's just, I don't want to be rude to the lad, because he is talented. You have to be talented to be playing Premier League football. People don't get that twisted. But he's just the basic that you need. The basic standards. I know the Superchat said, what a player. But no, he's not a what a player. He's not that. I don't need him. I don't want him to be that. He's just a player who's coming in. And for me personally, I could see him getting sold in 2-3 years' time if we're back on track. I could see him being a squad player now and forevermore. He's what McTominay should have been for the longest time. But again, even he had his little fan base. Even he had his little stands and his followers.
Yeah, but he's a better midfielder than McTominay. McTominay wasn't good as him.
McTominay was a striker playing in midfield. I'll say that at the end of time. But this is what we need, these kind of players in the squad. And if Collyer can be that, then I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a better player than you're giving him credit for, but I actually understand where you're coming from. This just why don't Man United? I said this the other day, right? Young David, who's now not so young anymore, he's left school and uni and everything else. Might be doing a master's, but he did something that I thought was really cool for a school kid when he was at school. He was off the grid, no social media. He was a bit of a mystery man, and I thought, how cool is that you're not like every other kid? That's one of the reasons I like David. I like that little approach. Why don't Man United fans try and do something cool, right, and different? And instead of hyping every youngster, sit back and be relaxed about it. For me, again, I'm an old man, maybe, so maybe I don't get what's cool. I've never felt being cool is copying what every other single person does. So right down to when I was younger and everyone was watching The Sopranos, I was like, I ain't watching that, but that shit's finished. Because I just felt like following. Do you know one of the most embarrassing things I saw in recent years is people that don't watch and don't care about Love Island go, oh, I'm going to start watching it so I can join in tweeting about it on Twitter with people. I remember looking at that thinking, you sad prat, you plonker. Like that's the least cool thing you could ever do, right? And I just want us to do that with some young players at the club. Why don't we buck the trend, stop the hype, enjoy what they do, and slow things down?
that's what
Wait,
Cage is
go on,
trying
go
to
on.
do. Because
No,
Cage
I
has
agree,
said
I agree,
like,
I
he's
agree.
not what a player. He's a good player. He's a Premier League player. You could see the things that he does. He's like, you know what? There's a bunch of people that you do the same thing they do, and they all exist in the Premier League. So you should be playing the Premier League. The thing is that super chat, and I don't want to make too much of that super chat. It's just that we're kind of hyping it up. Like he's gonna be one of those players that if we try to sell him in a year or so, we're gonna be like, oh my god, why are you selling him first? Why are you selling him when this player's on the payroll? Da, 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 da. It's because like we just hype him up. Like he's a good player. That's it.
Yeah.
Keep
That's
him
the
up.
thing.
Keep him in the
He's a
team for
cheeky,
1 or 2
cheeky
years.
20 mil.
You get a 20 to 30 million offer from some random team in the league, like a not Burnley, but like a Fulham or something, and you sell them on, and you make PSR money, and there you go. You move on. That's it. Like it's nothing
Yep.
super amazing to talk about.
I hear that.
But he did have a good cameo, just to say.
And also, before you go, Terry, big up his goal line clearance.
Yeah, that.
Oh
that
yeah, he
yeah.
saved it today.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
equivalent
Yeah,
to a goal.
I'm so shocked none of you mentioned that. That's like the most
Yes.
important part today.
I forgot.
Well,
Yeah. He saved it.
I mentioned it at the top. Sam here says, name a United fan who is more biased than Ty or Julian from AFTV. By that metric alone, Arsenal are 10 times worse.
Agreed.
2025 is the year of peace for me.
You know what?
I'm
I
not
mentioned
Well, we have a lot of
United
that.
Trey, that guy, he's an actual curse. You see that tweet from the Betis account?
Yeah. But,
Yeah, no,
They said, please don't wish him good luck.
yeah. Rivals big mad again after United win. Love it. This is very true. Not every United fan is delusional like Ahmed on your channel. Is what he says here.
Hey, big up Ahmed. He ain't delusional.
Nkunku will make it all work hopefully this week. Yeah, Ronan, you can just do one, mate. You can just do one. Based on Hojlund goal scoring in Europe, I think he'll perform somewhere. I just don't think it suits the Premier League, is what Sam Ritchie says. That's a really good point. And one of our members here, Ian, says, I don't quite realize just how bad this United team is until we play them on Thursday with our C team and the poorest we've been in years. It took a late Bruno goal to salvage a win. So Ian, who's obviously a Rangers fan, and look, we know how poor we are, which is why, fans like myself and loads of us said, just sacking a manager won't fix us. It's never been as simple as sacking a manager. And I still can't believe the people that push that narrative for the last 10 years are being listened to by anyone. There's getting things wrong, but there's getting the biggest problem at our club wrong consistently for 10 years and still being listened to as a matter of authority on it. And I'm talking more about the mainstream media. Those are the biggest fuckers out here, I'm telling you. Look, I want to thank everyone who has tuned in this evening. I want to thank the panel. I want to thank the super chatters and everyone else who's been here. This is going to redirect you to Hassam's channel, so go and support him over there.
Pronounce it. I dare you. Pronounce it correctly.
El Aqua.
Yes! You actually did it. Let's fucking go.
Shit myself then. Listen, go and support it right now, people. We're back tomorrow with more content, and I'll be in a new location streaming the top 6 shows tomorrow night. I'll be somewhere in Birmingham, so keep your eyes out for that one. Well done, United, on the victory today. Until next time, people, take care, goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you all again very, very soon.